In 2025, I did something that I've never done before, and I kept track of everything I spent my money on, which basically means I can give you a breakdown of how much it cost me to live on a narrowboat for 1 calendar year. Now, before the trolls and the keyboard economists start writing in the comments furiously, I'm not saying this is how much you will spend, how much you should or would spend if you did the same. This is my breakdown of what I spent. And let me tell you, having done the maths on it, it surprised me. Almost to the point I'm a little bit embarrassed of some of the figures. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's start with the really obvious stuff, like license, insurance, and all that good stuff. Now, when it comes to the price of the license, there are a few different factors that determine how much you will pay. Things like the size of your boat. Are you a continuous cruiser or do you have a home mooring? Continuous cruisers will have a higher license fee because it is deemed that they are causing more wear and tear on the system, on the canal system itself. There are other factors, like if you have a really, really old boat and it's classed as an historical boat, you'll get a discount. Now, I have a 50-foot boat. It's not really, really old, and I do have a home mooring, which means for 2025, I paid £1,211.67. Or breaking that down, that would have been £100.97 per month. So it's not too bad. As I said, I do have a home mooring. Now, moorings, again, are different prices wherever you are in the country. The mooring I have, I do think it's expensive. I am paying for convenience that I don't have to move my boat every 2 weeks. And even though I do think it's expensive, I will continue to stay here for the meantime because it is convenient for me. Yeah, right. So for 2025, my home mooring cost me £5,041 on the dot, which, breaking it down to a monthly payment, is 428 pence. Not too bad, I guess. Still irks me. And then finally, insurance for my boat cost me 205p and £66 for the year, which on a monthly breakdown is £17.13. That is the most expensive outgoing, that section, for me. Next up, and it's the thing that us in the Western world cannot live without. And of course I'm talking about the internet. So, I do not have a dongle. I don't have a Wi-Fi mast coming out of my boat. The only internet I have is on my phone. And then when I want to use my Mac, I just literally hotspot it. Now for the year, bear in mind I get unlimited internet. For the year, I paid £290 with gift-gaff, which I think is pretty reasonable. To break that down, for the first 11 months of the year, it was £25 per month. And then they had a Black Friday offer on, where they dropped that to £15 per month for unlimited data. So I jumped on that. That was December's payment. And moving into 2026, I'm paying £15 a month, which I think is pretty reasonable for unlimited 5G data. Happy days. The next section I have called heating and eating, because it keeps me warm and it means I can cook hot food. Of course I'm talking about gas, wood, coal, firelighters, matches, yeah. So, obviously, during winter months I spend more, and in summer months I spend very little, if nothing, on some months. For 2025, I spent £1,062.52 on heating and eating, which, breaking it down, would be £88.54 per month. Is this good compared to living in a house? I don't know. But for me, I'm happy with that. I can live with that. This one stings a little bit. And of course I'm talking about laundry. Now, quick disclaimer. I do not have a washing machine. I use the local laundrette. I am a very active person, which means I change my clothes very regularly. Coming from a raw marine background, we are very clean people. So, clean clothes, clean bedding, etc., etc. I also do jiu-jitsu, which, if you have done jiu-jitsu or you do it, gi, you'll know that washing gis becomes the bane of your life. And of course, I'm not washing a single gi on its own. I wait till there's 3 or 4. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. Anyway, I'm trying to buy time. I don't know why. In 2025, I spent £645 at the local laundrette. They're loving it. I'm not so much loving it. But anyway, that's a lot of money. And the other thing which got me thinking was, and it's great, support a local business, gets me out the boat, which is sometimes very much needed. But not only am I spending money there, I'm spending time. If you've got a washing machine at home, in a house, in a boat, whatever, you put the load on, you can get on with work, you can have a nap, you can do all those good stuff. When you're going to a laundrette, because I don't just drop it off and collect it later, because that would be even more expensive, I am using time. Now I can run errands, but it's not the same. Yeah. The laundry stings. It really does. But it is what it is. And maybe we will revisit the washing machine on a boat conversation. Let's talk about food and toiletries. So this covers, obviously, myself and Hoochie Baby and all of his treats as well, of which seems to be never ending. He loves his treats. It does also cover toiletries, like I said, but being a bloke, that's very minimal. I've got shower gel, I've got toothbrush and toothpaste, and that's about it. So that's minimal. On the food side of things, though, it turns out I spend quite a lot. Now, I don't really drink alcohol, but I do like good food. I'm very active, so I do tend to eat a lot, coupled with the fact that I have a ridiculously high metabolism. I have to eat a lot just to maintain my body weight. And before I tell you the number, it did shock me, even though I don't know if it's a lot or not, but I have taken steps in 2026 to actively bring this down, because I think it is a lot. In 2025, I spent £5,237 exactly on food, which an average monthly bill then would be £436.41. Oof. Please tell me if that's a lot for a man and his dog. I think it is. The next section is almost a continuation of the food element. This is what I've classed as takeaways, nights out, sociable coffees, etc., etc. Let's get straight into it. For the year of 2025, I spent £634.60 on takeaways and being sociable, which, if you break it down, is £52 and £88 88 pence per month, which I don't think is that bad, really. I think that's definitely workable. So I'm pretty happy with that. Final section before we tally everything up and work out how much it cost me for the year. And this one is maintenance on the boat. So 2025, I didn't really do much. Moving forward, 2026 is going to be so much more expensive. I've got to get the boat blacked, which means having it taken out of the water. I'm going to do the blacking myself. At least that's the plan right now, to save some money. I also have to get the boat safety certificate thing squared away. Yeah, so I've got more things to do in 2026. But in 2025, relatively cheap. This amount covers stuff like the chimney getting swept. What else? Running costs just like oil and diesel. I didn't actually take the boat out anywhere, but I did start the engine just to keep it ticking over once every 2, 3, 4 weeks, just for 20 minutes or so. And I like to keep the diesel topped up, especially in winter, because then you don't get the condensation forming in the fuel tank. What else did I spend it on? Oh, stuff like sponges and boat wash to wash the boat during the summer, stuff like that. And it all came to £167.30p. Very, very little. Which breaks down to £13.94 for the month. Like I said, 2026 is going to be a whole lot more expensive. So yay. Yeah, that's that. The moment you have been waiting for, the grand total. I am going to give you 2 figures. One for everything I've talked about, and a second figure taking away the food and the sociable coffees, nights out, etc., to give you an actual price on the actual boat life itself. So, drum roll please. For everything I've spoken about in this video, the grand total comes to £14,494.75. What do you think? The second figure, if we're taking away the food, nights out, etc., will give you a grand total of £8,623.15. Much better. Yeah. It's taken me a little bit of time to kind of digest this. Now, please bear in mind, £5,000 of that is for my mooring. If I was a continuous cruiser, yes, my fuel costs would be higher and my license fee would be slightly higher. But it wouldn't be £5,000 higher. So that's, you know what, it's definitely cheaper if you are a continuous cruiser. And dare I say it, probably more exciting as well. And that's something for the future. But right now, no, I need to be here. Like I said, the food side of things, I am actively bringing down, because that one shocked me. I was like, wow. And I know we're in a cost of living crisis and food costs a lot, etc. But I still think over £5,000 for one human and a tiny little dog is probably a little bit excessive. But yeah, what do I know? I would love to hear your thoughts. So if you're a boater, is this good? Or are you shocked and you went, what the hell are you doing? If you are a potential boater and you're like, could be a good way of life, could be a cheap way of life, has that number scared you off? Or are you like, let's buy a boat, let's get cruising? Let me know. I am looking forward to it. So, and you know how to do that. comment section. Trolls, I'm waiting for you. Yeah, I think that's it. I hope you've, he's not snoring now, but I hope you've heard throughout the video Hoochie Bear actually snoring underneath my chair here, bless him. And that's it. So, laters. What was that? I don't know.